Good day everybody, welcome to P&W Guitar. My name is Mason, and today I'm going to be telling you a little bit about my Fender Strat that I've got sitting on my lap. To begin, this story starts in 2012 at a store called Walter's Music in my hometown, London, Ontario, which unfortunately is not there anymore. Prior to that, I had been going into the store a lot and bothering the guys there, checking out the gear that they had, which was predominantly Fender guitars, Schecter for some reason. It was the era when they had a lot of binding and abalone and like bats on the fretboard and weird kind of metal-y stuff. And they had Fender amps as well as the guitars, Gretsch guitars, and then they also had, for whatever reason, a lot of PV5150s, or I think maybe the 6505s or whatever the version at the time would have been. Prior to me getting this particular guitar, I had really wanted a Strat, and I had gotten a Mexican, I think it was called the Fender Standard Strat at the time, and I had been playing that. It was very similar to this one, actually almost identical, but we were getting close to Christmas time, and I saw a post that they put up that they were doing a sale, and they were doing kind of some clearance on the previous year's guitars, which this one was. So I called them up and asked if they had a Sunburst Strat, because I had kind of had my heart set on that for some reason. And the guy that picked up the phone, who was someone who I dealt with a lot, I don't recall his name, unfortunately. Sorry, but if you're out there, thank you very much for helping me out. He said they either had an Olympic white one with a rosewood fretboard, which is very Jimi Hendrix and cool.
What? Glenn.
Okay. Okay, his name was Glenn, who was the manager of the store. Thank you, Glenn. So he said they had an Olympic white Strat with rosewood fretboard. There was this one, the Sunburst with the maple board, and then there was one other one, I want to say it was Sonic Blue maybe, something like that. But regardless, I wanted the Sunburst one, so they had one of them, and I asked him to put it aside for me, and then kind of like rushed up there. At the time, this place was a pretty long bus ride from my house, I want to say at least an hour, maybe more. So I took my Mexican Strat with me, went up to the store with my, at the time, girlfriend, now wife, and traded that Mexican Strat in, and they gave me a really good deal, and I ended up getting this one for $900, I believe, all in at the time. And then with the trade-in, obviously brought it down, and we paid the difference, but then I was left over with this guy. Just this awesome, awesome Strat. And I didn't really know at the time what kind of music I wanted to play, to be totally honest. I'd been listening to a lot of classic rock, getting into metal a lot. But I didn't really play metal. I wasn't really good enough, or didn't have the dexterity to play a lot of that stuff. But I was really, really into like blues rock. It was like your Jimi Hendrix stuff, Stevie Ray Vaughan, John Mayer-esque, although I didn't listen to John Mayer at the time at all. But I was really excited to have this guitar. This weird thing that the Mexican Strat, there was nothing wrong with it. Like, it was a great guitar, but there was just something drawing me to the American ones. I just felt like that was like the be-all, end-all. And I know they have like the deluxe Strats, and they have the ones with the noiseless pickups and all the other stuff. But something about this just being like the American standard Strat, I was just super pumped about it. Brought it home, and I've had it ever since. I've put a lot of time into playing this guitar. It's probably the one I've played more than any, and it definitely shows. You can probably see, if I get the camera really close there, you might be able to, that there's a lot of dents in the fretboard and also on the frets. Put some good dings in it. Might be hard to see, but this fell off a stand at one point, so it's got a good nick there. It's got some love marks, but the things that make this particular Strat special for me are the fact that I got it at a time when I was really kind of starting to take guitar playing more seriously, didn't know what I was doing, and really trying to figure out where I was going. So getting this led me to where I am now, which is gigging and playing shows, and now I'm doing YouTube videos and teaching and just all of this stuff. But it really led me down the path that I'm at with my passion for music and wanting to continue doing that. Prior to this, and prior to that previous Strat that I traded in for this one, my first guitar was something called a Windaroo, which I want to say was like a ripoff of an Ibanez Geo, like a really cheap. I can't even find anything about them online, to be totally honest. They're very elusive, apparently. But I graduated from the 8th grade, and my parents told me that if I kind of kept doing what I was doing, which is at the time playing an acoustic guitar that was kicking around the house, that they'd buy me an electric guitar, which is what I really wanted. So I got that guitar. It was a humbucker, single humbucker, with kind of a Floyd Rose style bridge, but it was awful and didn't stay in tune at all. But I ended up destroying it when I was trying to play Dragon Force songs. I was using the whammy bar and actually snapped the bar off inside of the bridge. Just in general, it wasn't built very well. I took it into a couple shops to try and get it taken care of, and it always came back somehow worse. And I think I took it to a shop downtown, and they set up the bridge, and it was at that kind of an angle, which is not good. So I don't know if they didn't know what they were doing, or the guitar was just that bad they couldn't fix it. Regardless, when I had something like this, it really felt like I had a quality instrument that I could put my time and my effort into, and it would actually give it back to me. And that was a big deal for me. So what's really cool about this Strat, and the ones made at the time, and I don't know why they did this, and the tone pot here, and you'll see if you turn it all the way to 10, which is the number I'm looking at here, it actually removes the tone control completely, which has the effect of making the guitar extra bright, which is weird for a Strat. You wouldn't think you'd want it more bright. The Strats have that ice picky quality sometimes. So what I tend to do is to roll it back, and I line it up with this knob right here, and I like to see it at around between 7 and 8. And that takes off some of the high end that like kind of hurts your ears if it's loud. So that'd be the bridge position. And it also came with, and I didn't realize this until years later when I looked it up, has custom shop Fat 50s pickups, which are awesome sounding. I've never had, I don't know, I've tried some of the Texas Specials and some of the other pickups, but these ones are great and I love them, especially like the neck position for all Strats. That's like where you want to be. It's kind of like the solo sound for Strats. And what I'm running through right now, just in case you guys are curious, I've got my Line 6 Helix on the floor. I'm going to bump it over to something that's a little bit harder edge, just to show off what this one can do. So that's how the neck pickup sounds. I think it's awesome. If you move over to kind of that split position here, it's not one that I use too often, but it does have kind of a cool sound if you finger pick. If I'm going to turn the volume down a little bit just to get it a bit cleaner. It's got that kind of cool vibe to it. And then in the middle position, same kind of setting, you can play kind of like jazzy stuff on it. Something along those lines. And then because you can get that jazzy sound, you can also do a pretty good job of the or the you can get that kind of sound, which is cool. And then if you roll it up, you can do some pretty good rock. That kind of thing, which is awesome. I love that. I've been getting a lot more into jazz over the last couple of years. I've been studying it a little bit. I don't know the names of all the crazy chords you can do, but for instance, something along the lines of a some sevens, why not? Tasty. And then you've got your mixed position between the middle and the bridge. People say it's kind of quacky. I don't exactly know what they tend to mean by that, but it does have kind of a cool sound. I'll roll it up a little bit. Benefit of this one obviously is that you have it set up so that it's hum canceling in this case, which is pretty awesome. But really, if I'm going to do for more of a rock sound and I want to chuck away in some power chords or whatever, because Strats can play metal, whether or not people agree with that or not, crank it up to 10. Like I said, try to keep the tone rolled back because it's too bright. What is good is if you roll up the tone a little bit, you can get kind of those cool octave things that they do in pop punk songs, which is pretty awesome. I do enjoy that. what else can I say? It's an awesome guitar. I've put a lot of hours into it. I've put a lot of dents into it. I've played it unbelievably long periods of time. I've had it for over 10 years at this point. I think it's got to be 11 now. It's 2023. Math. Beyond that, I love it. It's an awesome guitar. I definitely think I'm going to have it for the rest of my life. I have no intention of ever getting rid of it. People like to talk about those guitars that you would run into a burning building for. I think this would probably be the one for me. Sentimental value and all that, and it's been with me this entire journey that I've had, from kind of starting out and learning how to actually play guitar and not just screw around and do what I was doing when I was a teenager. And from that point on, I've got to where I am now, which is something that we can talk about in future videos. I'm trying to grow this channel, so if you guys are enjoying the content, if you want to hear about more of my gear, more of my guitars, more of my story, my journeys, my guitar journeys, shameless plug, sorry. But if you would like to be part of that, then like and subscribe this video, share it with your friends. I appreciate it. And if we can grow this channel big enough, then hopefully I can quit my corporate job and do this full time. Who knows? With that, I'll give you guys a quick jam out, and then I will see you next time. So until then.